Hey, what's going on guys, Short Fuse here, and in today's video I'll be tackling two topics, one positive and hopeful, and the other negative and defeatist. I'm going to begin by giving you my thoughts and predictions regarding the newly released cinematic trailer for Street Fighter 6, and in part 2, we're going to talk about the future of hardcore fighting games, so feel free to skip to whichever part you want to hear. I scrolled through the comment sections of a Street Fighter 6 trailer and I saw quite a few people lamenting the fact that they wish 6 would be more like 4 rather than 5. Okay, maybe I'm playing fast and loose with the phrase quite a few. It was more like 3 guys amongst the sea of shills salivating at the mouth for another casual crap fest. But I did see some people express the sentiment that they want something more serious they can sink their teeth into this time around. And to them I say, it's not gonna happen. Listen, my first instinct when I saw the trailer was to get excited too. I couldn't help it. For that split second, my heart skipped a few beats. But I know better by now. And I hope the rest of you do as well. Please don't delude yourself into thinking that this will go in a more hardcore direction. It doesn't work like that. They have worked tirelessly to create an entire generation that grew up on easy mode garbage, and you think they're gonna pull the rug out from under them? Street Fighter 6 is gonna be more casual than Street Fighter 5. That's a guarantee. Imagine for a second that you're Capcom. Your main goal moving forward now is to somehow become even more accessible to the newcomers and corner that demographic, while simultaneously figuring out how to still appease the current/main demographic, which is the Street Fighter 5 guys. The rest of us are so far removed from this equation that we might as well be a speck of dust floating aimlessly in the vast, unending tapestry of the universe. Even the 09ers are relics and dinosaurs in their eyes at this point. Forget about the rest of us. Street Fighter 6's main goal is to make it just brain dead enough to draw in the new Timmies, while keeping it the same just enough to keep the Street Fighter 5 people from walking. Man, oh man, I can't wait for Street Fighter 7 to come out so I can grab my popcorn, sit back, and watch the Street Fighter 5 guys freak out like, what's this Street Fighter 7 easy mode bullshit? Why are all the 3-frame links changed now? Why they removed crouch blocking and you just block everything by holding back? Why does pressing forward plus punch do a Hadouken now? And why does doing that quarter circle forward punch make this super come out now? Remember, SNK Heroines wasn't a joke, it was a test. Testing the waters of how far they can push it before we snap. You'd think if Heroines somehow ended up being a massive mega hit, all the other fighting games since wouldn't have followed suit. But of course they have overplayed their hand with that and went full retard. The rest of the industry is doing a slow-moving coup. Same ultimate goal, just different, more insidious, calculative, and tentative tactics. Anyways, consider this a PSA. Don't allow yourself to get excited just because a new Street Fighter has been announced. There is no coming back once somebody sets on the casual path. Name one sellout that ever crossed their way back into hardcore. I will wait. The allure of easy money for not a lot of work is just too much. Not to mention, the board of investors has grown accustomed to, shall we say, a certain lifestyle. You want out of the game? Too bad, ho. The pimp said get back to work. As always, I'm gonna put a disclaimer here. I wish nothing more than to be proven wrong by Street Fighter 6. I will eat both my hat and crow with the biggest, most sincere smile on my face. But time has had a habit of proving me right in these last 10 years, hasn't it? Trends and patterns, people. Remember them. Hoping idiocracy is just a fad is nothing but wishful thinking. TikTokers, Cardi B, Donald Trumps, these things are here to stay. This is the new normal now. But that was the bad. Now let's be positive for a minute or two. And let's explore what the future holds for the world of hardcore fighting games and the people who love them. Number 1. Old games getting rollback re-releases and or remakes. Now that's a big one. Now the remakes wouldn't really apply to 2D sprite-based games for obvious reasons. However, I can see a trend where PS3 era fighting games with 3D character models will start getting facelifts and retouches. Ultra Street Fighter 4 Rollback Edition, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Rollback. Irregardless of which side of the debate you stand on, these games were iconic, and they are held in high regard. You may not like them, but in general, people respect them. People are still gonna be playing and talking about Street Fighter 4 decades from now. But nobody will even remember Street Fighter 5 existed once Street Fighter 6 comes out, because there's no reason to go back to it. It has nothing to offer. Playing it was like making the best out of a bad situation. I see this as a real possibility. They're doing it now with PS1 and PS2 games. Everything's a remix or a remake nowadays, so I'm sure there'll be a time when PS3 will be retro enough to warrant a re-release. Mind you, completely untouched, other than improved graphics and netcode. So hang tight, and eventually we will get ours. I mean, sure, we are scrapping for crumbs. It's a little demeaning, but you gotta get your victories wherever you can. Now, on to the number 2 thing to look forward to. The market is not only being oversaturated with easy mode casual stuff, like it has been for the past decade, but on top of that, there is no alternative offering. It's all casual all the time, which leads me to believe that maybe in the future, it will become hip for some indie studios to market their games as old school style fighter with an old school difficulty as a selling point, just to find its niche in a market which is 100% dominated by easy mode fighters. So basically, they'll go back to what it once was just to stand out from what it is now. Now, I don't play non-2D fighters video games, but I hear things. And I'm sure you're all aware of Dark Souls, right? Well, that's the trajectory I think fighting games are moving toward. Old school crushing difficulty with a modern look and twist will eventually become a selling point. A lifeline to the poor souls drowning in an endless sea of condescension, tired of being patronized by hand-holdy training wheels games.
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
Just remember to keep complaining, don't be afraid of voicing your unpopular or divisive opinion, and fuck anybody who tries to silence you. Whining and voting with our wallets is all we have, and whining occasionally gets things done.
I am a whiner, and I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining until I win.
Number 3. Now this one is neither here or there. I can't speak on the logistics and plausibility of something like this coming to life, but I like to envision a future where somebody somewhere is going to create a Fightcade style platform that will also play Naomi, Title Type X2, X3, PS3, and everything up until then. Imagine a lobby full of thousands of Street Fighter 4 and King of Fighters 13 players from all over the world, just sitting there and waiting to start a match at a moment's notice. 24/7, no queuing, no waiting, no going back to clunky menu screens, no nothing. You like a player, just play infinite rounds all day with chat options. Now add to that games with dead populations like Arcana Heart 3 and all the anime fighters. Who needs new games if we had that? Get out of here. And I don't think it's that far-fetched. Computers are getting powerful enough to emulate PS3 quite easily, and I do see this as a real possibility for the future. Nothing's impossible. We sent men to the moon with the computing power of a fakakta modern day calculator. We can pull this off too, I'm sure. So sit tight. There's gonna be a renaissance that's gonna get us out of what I can only call the dark ages of fighting games. I do not subscribe to the mantra of if you can't beat them, join them. If you can't beat them, stand your ground and carve out your own course. Let the industry and its shills cannibalize and implode onto themselves. We got our own thing. It's always been like that. Yeah, fighting games are a niche, so let's keep it that way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.